It's Adam. It's my bro.
Does he have it here for him to look at himself?
Yes. Okay, so everyone, thanks so much for listening to another episode of Full Buddy Cast Presents Garage Night. Garage Night brought to you by Cole Street Brewery. Go check in there. Say hi to Sean. Get yourself 15% off if you're wearing some Full Buddy merch. Go to Bordeaux Wine Bar and mention that you listen to the podcast. Right now, it's $2 off for your first drink. That's kind of how it should be. They may push back on that. I'm not sure. Someone tried to do it the other day, and I think they just didn't understand. Because usually when we do like a live there, I think that's the person thought. So just to work out for you, I'll pay your $2. I'm not worried about it. And then let's see, Bordeaux wine. Oh no, Mazatlan. Get yourself some tea enchiladas. Say hi to dude, where am I? Say hi to Andy. I need a beer. Say hi to Andy, and get a little discount as well. We did pumpkin beers last night. Ugh. This one's actually pretty good. You want to sip?
No.
This one tastes like pumpkin pie.
I'm good.
Are you under the weather? Under the weather? Are you under the weather?
Under what?
Are you under the weather?
The weather?
You look like you've been outside for like 4 hours waiting to get in here.
I worked all day. Worked hard all day, and then I just came here to hang out with you.
Eyes look a little misty.
I cried because I was excited to see you.
Okay. Is that what's going on?
I'm fine.
Okay, all right. Corey's a mystery. In fact, Corey is such a mystery that there's some people that work at a place that you work at that are now listening because they're super surprised that you talk. They were surprised that you would go on a show where you talk publicly as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they were talking about that, chatting about that.
Did you tell them it's been like a year?
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you got to listen to it then. And then, and I did tell Renee, I said, hey, Craig and I are pitching pumpkins year round.
No.
That's what she said too.
No.
So she had your back.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. There's no need for pumpkins. Even normally, I mean.
She was surprised though, because she said you do such a good job. She was like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I guess it's just when it comes in, it's a lot of work, and a lot of back-breaking work. And she goes, well, he always does a really good job with them. I'm surprised to hear that.
Well, I do a good job at a lot of things. Doesn't mean I want to do them all the time. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt my back.
Good point.
In fact, I think we used to work with Renee.
Yes.
You were there too. And
I was there before you.
You were way there before me. All of us all together.
He trained you, didn't he?
He pretended to. The only thing he trained me in, and I think, let's talk about that. We won't mention names, but you always had this idea in your head, at least me, that at work is work, right? Like you go there, you put in your time, 8 hours a day, you go home, but you work with coworkers and you realize this isn't like going to school, where everyone's kind of the same age and their same interests, kind of, and they're all in tune. You got old people, and that when you're the youngest one, then there's way older people. There have been people that are like in their 65, 70. You're like, how are they still working? I can't believe this person's going out to get carts right now. Like, we're over doing challenges. We're trying to, what was your record? Do you remember?
It was near 30.
30, just, I mean, that's what it is, right? If you go out of,
Four at a time, guys. Come on.
Well, you got to remember, and I'm trying.
Shout out, Dave.
I'm trying to exactly remember when you started, but when I first started, it was the metal carts that folded down just at the top.
Yes.
And I was barely there, and we switched to the red carts.
Yes.
That were wide.
Yeah.
Those were the ones you could get a real good line going on those carts, but it was turning into the doors that made the problem.
It's after like 8 that it's hard to turn those stacks.
Well, you'd go in a little bit, and then at the time you're a kid, and you're like, "This is sweet. I got like 20 going right now." And if I was an adult, I'd be like,
Look at that!
"Can I get by you?" Like,
just a car waiting for this line of carts to go by.
Just shopped. Sorry, honey, I had to wait for this little like 180-pound kid try and push these 30 carts in. Yeah. But that's what made quick work of cart hour. Like it was just like cart hours was nothing. Then you go just sit in the break room.
Well, cart hour used to be whoever went out there.
I was like, we never had cart hour.
We had it.
It was if the carts were like in piling up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I
everyone
never
would go
had
out
cart hours. It started like
no,
after I was there.
no.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
I know it wasn't because I know who started it.
Who started it?
Holly.
No, Broderick. Todd.
No, it wasn't there when I was there.
Well, when I was there, it was there. Maybe
Because
they got
when
rid
I
of
was
it.
a courtesy clerk, it was just go outside and get carts. And then what it ended up being is you'd have like 4 or 5 people out there just hanging out.
Yeah.
And finally they started floor and cart hours. And they were separate.
Yeah.
One person had floor. Now it's all together, but it was a separate thing.
Right. No, Todd was all about. He hated it, so he did do.
Todd was gone when I got there.
Yeah. So I think maybe they went away from it. It was like because maybe there was like who cares.
Right, anything that was his
But when
idea.
I was there, because I got yelled at by him, and I was like, I'm on my cart hour. What do you want me to do? I'm not bagging groceries. I'm on carts.
I think you just made that up. And he's like, what are you talking about? I didn't make a cart hour.
That's a genius idea.
That's a good idea, though, Travis. But you're still in trouble.
And then reading the graph. The graph, I remember looking at it like, what is my break? Like, it's like the hardest. It's like a grid. It's like, I think I could figure out, like, I remember going into mortgages when I was doing mortgages later on in life. And like, you had to read like what the percentages were and how much you got paid. Those were easier to read than the cart hour, or not the cart, just the regular graph.
What you did is they just stopped putting them on there. Nobody knows when they get them.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't have any more?
Well, because when they were putting them on there, people thought that they had to have them at that time. Well, it's really not like a specific time that you had to have it.
I feel like it was more of like a you just like let me just check that thing one more time. No one's around. Let me just still breaks at 4:15.
There used to be people that would just rub themselves off and leave. I'm like, that's not how this works. That's what you were talking about with the age difference, though.
What?
Like the ones that were there forever back when you were young, right? So I was like 20, 21 when I got management. So you had these checkers that were way older than me, been there for years and years, and then I'm like, hey, do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, how about no?
But see, that's where it's at. I think you're right. Retail, maybe some fast food chains. Typically, you don't have a 21-year-old coming in telling 40 to 50 to 60-year-olds who've been dealing there forever what to do. But in a lot of businesses now, like I'm hitting that age where I've got some younger supervisors coming in than me, and I'm like, this is interesting. I'm not mad at all. I trust. I mean, it's like, but I'm at the same time, I'm like, this is an awkward experience. I'm now that old guy that's being told by a younger person, what's up.
It's a different vibe because there's times where like somebody's doing something and I'm like, that's not the way you do it, and I'll go over there and I'm like, this is how you, and then I'm like, oh, I'm that guy now.
Yeah,
like I'm the old guy that's showing.
Oh
like,
gosh. We had one of those guys. I'm not mentioning names. People listen to this thing. By the way, we're back. Full Buddy Cast. I was kind of like the few weeks not having as many, but now that I'm releasing more, we're getting a lot more listens again. So I got to be careful what I say. But there's a few people that I've worked with in the past that they were known every day. In fact, the joke with a few of us still is like, hey, you know how to make tags, right? You know how to make signs, right? I got that question every single day. Like, don't you remember yesterday when I answered and I said I knew how to make signs? How about you in your line of work as a surveyor? Are you the old man on the floor right now?
Wait, he acknowledged that it was work.
It is right.
He said it.
Surprisingly, the trade, I'm actually
The only one. Surprisingly,
I would
as
say,
a wizard, I'm the only wizard in the forest.
I am actually towards the younger end still because there's not a lot of young people that have got into surveying. It's kind of like a dying profession. So there's a lot of people that are older. I mean, there's still guys out there in the field in their 60s and 70s still working.
Is that private or like government?
Yeah, well, it's surveying in general.
Because your government jobs, you get it. You got it. Like
Oh,
you're
privates. There's a lot of guys that are still out there 70 years old out in the field.
And Craig loves his privates.
Yes. So
That's the only way he
His
likes
whole
to go.
guy privates.
so I haven't experienced that.
Standing stuff, baby.
I haven't experienced that a lot where there's somebody younger trying to tell me what to do.
What
because
about
I was that
On the
I was that guy.
construction site when you're there and there's like foremans and people you deal with, have they been younger?
Sometimes project managers are straight out of school. Most of those guys are very green with understanding.
You just chose your words
I
so
did.
carefully.
I wanted to say idiot.
I don't know
why.
why.
But
they're not listening.
yeah, but no, I mean there's a difference between coming out of school and knowing it and then actually applying it, especially on a construction site. Anybody that's ever been on a construction site or works construction knows exactly what I'm talking about. So
Ooh, not me.
obviously
there's
you
a
got-
vibe.
neither
Yeah.
one of you guys have ever been on a construction site. So.
What are you talking about? I've been through remodels at the store. That's a construction site.
Yeah. You ever done a
Okay.
reset before?
Yeah.
That's like a construction. That's
I
like
have.
a remodel. Dude, reset was fun. The best part about reset when you were a supervisor counting out of stocks is you could skip that entire aisle. You're like, sweet.
You could do that all the time. I'm like, you guys want your numbers to be lower? Just have me count. Guaranteed under 200.
Yeah, well, except for those times where you did count out of stocks and then
The auditor.
the auditors showed
Only
up.
happened one time,
And how off were you?
like 50 or 60.
Not too bad. You're
It
like, oh
wasn't
yeah,
bad.
oh, I must have got pulled away by.
Yeah.
just-
Look, you called me to check 7 times. What do you
What do you
expect? I
expect?
miscount some things.
The other thing I didn't realize is that a lot how crude people were at the older. It's like you knew that there were older guys and older gals, but like my mom was never a vulgar person, and and my dad really not so much as easy, either. But you'd talk to some of these girls, these ladies, old women, old men, older. I shouldn't say old, older, and it was like Craig. I remember having a conversation with him. He's talking to someone that was older than us, and I was like, dang, I didn't know people talked this way at work. Surprised me a lot.
Awesome.
Do you not remember what he's talking
I
about?
don't. He looked at me like I remember the person, but we worked with a lot of people that were
We
older
talked,
than
and
us.
she's cool. We're still cool with her. She still works there.
Oh, okay.
But you were talking about,
I got you. I know what you're talking about now.
the conversation?
I think so.
Blowjobs.
Okay, I know who it is then.
See, those conversations.
I know exactly who I was talking to blowjobs about back in the day, 20 years ago.
That just popped
I
up.
remember every blowjob
if-
conversations I've had in the past 20
If
years.
Cordy thinks about it, he'd know also.
Yeah,
people.
and then you hear the crudeness, and then you realize how sexual harassment. Sexual harassment came out when we were probably in the 90s, right? When we were kids. I remember.
I think it was around before us.
Yeah, it was before us, but it was around.
appeared
but,
one
but
day.
But then you'd watch like these training videos. and
One
these-
day in the 90s, just
Right.
sexual harassment and
Those,
things.
was a
the
big-
training videos were from the 80s.
Were they?
Most of those videos you watched were 80s videos.
Yeah. Well, it would say
I got
something
my training elsewhere.
like, "Hey, Tammy, hey, you watch some video and it's like, this is what you don't do. Hey, Tammy, you're looking like a babe, toots. Yeah, let me feel you." And then you'd be like, "Yeah." No,
I don't remember watching those videos.
I don't think I'd ever do any of that. Actually, squeeze the bottom a little bit.
I learned from Roscoe and Ronnie, and then I knew what no zones were.
Did they do no zones with Roscoe?
Roscoe and Ronnie, yeah, there was like zones you didn't touch.
Really?
Yeah, you don't remember Roscoe and Ronnie?
No, I remember Roscoe and Ronnie. I don't remember them. Like, I'd come home on the KCPQ club or whatever the frick it was. They were KS.
Were you a member of the club?
I was a member of all clubs. I would always try to call in to get the Wild Waves thing, be the 13th caller and all that, and never got it. So pissed.
Still
Just so pissed off
Still
about
upset
it.
to this day.
I don't do any gambling anymore just because of that. Just kidding.
I still watch training videos like every year.
Training day
Training day videos, yeah.
for what?
His
The
own
last-
personal training videos.
Yeah, it's just me. I record myself talking, and then a year later I rewatch it. I'm like, this guy was right.
This guy's good.
This guy knows what he was talking about.
You guys should listen to him.
What was the last one I watched? Oh, it was a run fight video for workplace things.
Like what not to do in case someone shows up and it's like, hey,
Like you had to watch it at work?
Yeah.
I just did
Yeah,
training.
a training
today.
for a shooting type thing. Yeah, it was like
I did
it was run,
active
fight,
shooter training.
and they had like a video you actually watched for it that like mimicked it and showed you what not to do.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that
I'm gonna hide under the potato table.
Well, you say, yeah, you the escape hatch, the produce escape hatch. When you'd watch this, you'd go, because you did. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever been when someone's shoplifting. You know, someone's shoplifting, but there's a part of you that kind of like at least for me, you're like you want that guy to get caught, you know, and then you're kind of like, well, I'm gonna catch this guy, and I'm gonna talk to this guy, and I'm gonna follow this guy.
I'm gonna split it with him.
But you always like
Give me some of them Hershey bars. We'll call it even.
as a supervisor, I knew who, you know, you can tell who's stealing. Like you can tell who's putting stuff in their purse. Like it's like these guys are like so dumb that you think I haven't seen this before. You think I haven't seen someone just do what you just did.
You haven't seen the same route that everybody takes. In
That
store.
every-
Like,
yeah,
there's certain routes that
Yeah.
you go.
You figured out our store. Oh, you went down aisle 12 and then moved down to aisle 4 and then went right out the door. Oh, we didn't see that one coming. There's like 5 guys that have tried that already today. Yeah, you go down this route, you think someone's not going to see you, or they kind of hang by the exit. You know, kind of like, oh, I'm just going to go to the ATM. I'm walking right out the door.
Did you ever catch somebody?
Oh, yeah.
And then let them go?
There was one gal that was a regular, and I felt bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a reason, so I let her go, but I kept the stuff. Like it was
I did
just
that once.
right. It was like, hey, come on, don't do this. You're better than this. I know who you are. Like,
Did
kind
you
of
give a
thing.
speech?
I gave her.
I gave a speech.
I gave the lecture.
I felt better about it after I gave. Because it was all food products.
Yeah,
It was like granola bars and milk and like stuff like for kids.
yeah.
And they just took the cart and rolled it out. So I went out there and I just grabbed the cart and I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, you know, this person has a receipt over there. And I'm like, no, they don't. And he's like, yeah. And so I sat there and I gave him this whole speech
Like,
about
Travis, come on now.
and so I made him bring the cart back in. And then I was like, you know, I'm not gonna push anything if you bring the cart back in
Right.
and leave it here. So he did that. That's the one person that I didn't do it with.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's most of the time it's like you made your choice. It's like if somebody does alcohol, stuff like that.
You made your choice.
Well, if you have alcohol and you're stealing
just
that
Corey's
shit, then-
playing God over here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he uses like a catchphrase, like "You made
You
your bed,
made
now
your
you got to
choice."
lie in it."
and then when I say that,
This hurts you way more than it hurts me.
I say that and then I push him over. Now lie in it.
So the dumbest, I think I've told this story, but I'll tell it again. The dumbest shoplifter I've ever encountered. I was in check stand like 8. This lady comes through. It's busy, man. It's so busy. She comes through. It's like a spring, summer day. And she has this overhanging plant over her cart. And, you know, the flowers, everything. And she's like, oh, just going to pay this. And I'm like, okay, cool, right on. And there's a bunch of food underneath, tons of food. Some of it bagged in regular, like, like not like plastic bags, but like you bring back your canvas bags. And some of it just on top of that, just like unbagged. Tons of food. And so I go, okay, cool, yeah, we can pay for that. And I said, I could get, can I get your receipt? It's got to do this because I see your other stuff. She goes, because she was just, I'm just paying. Oh, I've already paid for these other groceries. I said, cool. I just need to get your receipt real quick just to verify. And she goes, yeah. Oh, seem to have lost it. And I go, hey, it's fine. Whose check stand did you go through? She goes, oh, it was this one. Maybe did you let someone out for a break? And I had actually let someone out for a break. And so I go, yeah, okay, yeah, I did. Just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and you can pull up receipts. And I was a supervisor. I could figure you just go in the cash office, boom, pull, because there was a ton of stuff. And I go, let me just give me a second, and I'll just print out a quick receipt. And I knew she'd steal. I knew she was stealing. And sure enough, she kind of like was like, no, you know what? I don't think I paid for these. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I was gonna go through, but I saw the plant. I really want the plant, and
I don't want this stuff anymore.
No, yeah,
I just want the plant now.
She paid for the plant. She paid for, and I'm like, you don't have to get the plant. I'm like, listen, you don't have. And I looked at her. I go, listen, you don't. I understand. you don't have to get the plant. Is there anything else you want to buy? No, I really want this plant. That's what I was. No, we're fine. I said, and I felt bad because it's probably all the money she had. She couldn't put it on an EBT card. She only had cash. She's just going to buy this plant. And she ended up just buying the plant and just leaving all the food. And
She probably needed it, but she was like, "Don't tell me what to buy, Travis."
yeah. She was just
Prove him wrong.
super defiant. The thing is I watched the video on this thing.
To see yourself?
No, just to see me.
Did I handle this correctly?
I want to see it
And that's
play
when
by play.
And that's
Training
when I
videos.
realized how bald I was. No,
Who is that guy?
No, I watched her walk out with the full cart. She went outside. She went past the hanging plants. No one followed her at all. And then she went off camera, meaning that she was able to make it into the parking lot. She was able to make it away from the store. Then, like 30 seconds later, she comes back, grabs a plant, puts it on top of the cart, and goes right into the store and then has a conversation with me.
I believe her now. She just didn't know what she was doing.
No.
Yep.
No.
I believe her conscience got the better of her.
I
Is
think
that what it is?
She
yeah.
wanted to get caught.
Maybe. You ever done
How old was she?
like 40s?
Was she on drugs? Can you tell?
She was very skinny.
I think she
Like
might
crack
have.
skinny, that's what you're talking
She
about?
might have
Not
not.
like she wasn't pockmarking it yet. but
She probably wasn't really gonna pay, but she might have forgot that she stole the stuff when she went out in the parking lot.
yeah, she's just like, la da da.
Ooh, a plant.
I don't have any money for it, but I'll buy this
I'm
plant.
gonna buy this plant.
That's what I came for.
And then she's in line. She's like, "Oh shit, I stole this stuff."
You know
this
what?
year."
Maybe she didn't even have a car to put it in.
Or yeah, the guy left her. The guy's like, this could take too long. She's
I-
caught.
I know what I need to do. Buy this plant. It'll solve everything.
Well, maybe maybe she like sometimes you go to the grocery store, you forget why you went there, but you grab a few other items. Maybe she went back to her car. She gets in, she sees the list. It says buy plant.
She's like, "That's the only
And she's
thing I
like,
came
"Oh, that's
for."
all I needed to come here for." I completely forgot.
She loads all her stuff back out of her car in the cart to come back in.
And you don't know because it's off camera. She could have.
She could have.
Could have, absolutely, she could have.
She probably paid for everything, and you stole it from her.
Yeah, and I resold it back to her. Buying this, I'm like, give me cash. You said you had some feedback. You had some listener feedback.
So I had. I'll give him a shout out. Jaron Jokala
Jokala
was listening,
yes, thank
And-
you. Shout out to Jaron.
and he.
And wait, time out.
yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to KP. Because the funny thing is KP's listening again.
Oh, nice.
So we got the
Did they challenge each
we
other?
got
yet?
the yeah. they're both in. It's like you guys with your mustaches and no shave. It's like and now it's. So anyway, old KP, new KP.
All right,
Go.
so yeah, he got a hold of me. He had listened. He thought this segment was pretty funny. Coriel realized it because it came up in a group text chain. Our group text chain for fantasy football it came up. So I figured I'd bring it up again because you were kind of pushed off the topic when we were talking about it.
Okay, we gotta go back to it.
We're gonna go back to it
Okay.
now because I'm actually kind of interested to see what people think. I know what you think because you kind of pushed us through
Oh,
it.
because I couldn't say midget.
Because it's the
Oh.
midget dwarf thing.
You can't say it.
And I want to bring this come back up. Why can we not use the word midget? Why?
I have a picture of the midget on my phone.
He
that
does.
I put in the group.
Why are
text.
we doing this?
Because this is what people. This is specifically what he listened to, and he
Listen.
brought
All
brought
right.
it up.
Here's why. This is why I'm sensitive to it. Okay.
Because of midget's football that they cut you.
I have. You guys are gonna feel. You guys laugh it up. Okay. Just keep laughing because I'm gonna tell you, and then you guys are gonna be crying. Okay. So yeah, no. Just any more jokes? You want to feel more guiltier when I get done
Hold
with
on,
this?
wait a minute. Midget.
Okay, there you go. Listen, ever since my friend had a dwarf, you can call him dwarf, a little person, as their kid, I guess the M word, which I'm not going to say, is a derogatory word. And so they had a private conversation with me
Because you said it?
because I had said it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Hey, I don't know if you know about this." And I had no clue. I looked it up. Sure enough, it's like a banned word that you can't say, just like ginger. But see, you saying ginger and me saying ginger to you, and you accepting that you're a ginger, Craig Bentley. 25345. I'm just kidding. You know, so
let me ask you this.
I don't think there's any
I-
banned words.
I got that.
did you look it up?
But listen, I get
look,
that.
Look what up.
I get that, and if in that scenario that they don't want that word used,
Yeah.
I completely understand that. But you have a lot of people that are dwarfs that call themselves midgets.
Sure.
That use midget wrestling.
I
There's a
get
ton
it.
of stuff.
I get
So
it.
I don't think it's in our, as we're talking, I am not specifically talking about your friend's kid. I would never do that if that's what they don't want.
Right.
But just the word in general, I don't see an issue with
The
that.
problem with the language is use and determination of what you mean. So, like, if you're in front of the person, I wouldn't run up to a person and go, "You're a midget," in their face. It's like there's a difference in tone
Right.
of the conversation.
Right. So then, are all words okay then if you don't say it in front of people?
You can say anything you want.
Right. So I'm saying,
It's on you.
are there other words?
You can say any word. You try. Which word are you trying to go to?
Any word? You could
You're
go to-
specifically trying to go towards
He
one
is, but
word.
I don't
right
think
now.
we should even go down that road.
Well, I'm just
It's
saying,
that's a
if
little bit
someone
different.
feels
But
it's derogatory and they have other words in place and they say, hey, please don't use this word.
There's words that
Please
I
use this
choose
word
not to
instead.
say, but there's people that I'm around that choose to say those words.
Right.
Well, that's on them. That's not on like.
Right. So that's why. But here for me is a little different. Okay. I'm educating. A. B. I'm putting this out there that in 20 years from now, who knows what word you can say and can't say. So the ones, the words that I know that are on the fringe right now, like 20 years ago, I could have said the R word and felt completely
But
okay with it. And I had friends and not. But now if you say it, it's a harsh word. People don't like it.
It depends on the context, who you're around, and what you're saying it to. People
just
have
saying.
to understand where you're at
Yes.
and your audience.
But I think people will have that what's that called when someone is naive or maybe they're ignorant, not like you're ignorant, but like they just don't know, right? Now and then when someone tells them, comes alongside and says, "Hey, just so you know."
Well, I think there's a lot
this
of
could be
people that
offensive to some people.
There's other people that understand that, and that's why they choose not to use that word in front of them.
Yeah, and I think anything can be offensive to people. You're going to quit everything.
No, not everything can be offensive to someone. If I say the word everything, that's not offensive.
So let me ask, just hypothetical. We had two. If one of them say it's okay, but the other one doesn't.
In my opinion, if you were to use another word, let's just say any other word, but the word that you can't say, okay? Let's say bitch as an example. We can say bitch, right? Son of a bitch. Bitch.
I don't know why you couldn't.
Why are you bitching?
Again, it's context.
But if there's two females here,
you can say bitch,
As long
And
as
I-
you're not calling them
it's
a
in
bitch,
context of the conversation.
it's the same. It's why? Why does that change now? You just said
because the word means
It's
something
it's
different.
called language. The language that you use and the
Right, but I'm-
context that you use it in
Right.
changes the tone of the word.
okay. So then if you describe someone, let's say you're describing someone of a different race.
Mm-hmm.
And you use a word that you shouldn't. Are you using that word?
I personally don't,
It's
but I've
been-
heard it
but it's been
around and it's
told-
used.
You've been told you shouldn't use it.
Because it's offensive to other people. So I now know that it's offensive.
Yes.
Before I didn't know.
It's still a choice, though. It's not. There's no words that are truly
we're not.
banned.
We're not saying that you're wrong. We're not trying to argue that you're by not using it. You're wrong.
Right. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not getting mad. I'm just letting you know. Like, hey, like that's if someone finds it offensive, I'm not gonna say it. If I call my wife fat, and she goes, "Hey, how do I look at these jeans?" And I go, "Hey, you look a little fat in those jeans." You know, that could be insensitive.
I
So then
agree.
but hey, it's the word. The word's fat's not bad. Well, yeah,
it's not. It's
right.
the tone
But
and
if I
context.
but if I say the word fat, if I reference my wife fat in anything, unless it's PHAT, pretty hot and tempting, I'm in the doghouse no matter what.
So you're not going to use the word fat.
Not when it comes
Ever.
to describing my
Again,
wife.
then you're in context of where the word's going to.
And you're describing your wife. But could you describe somebody else being
So
fat?
so here, let's just talk about this. I don't think midget is a bad word because they have race cars, midgets. They're quarter midgets, meaning that they have the wings. What Henry Van Dam drives and what Casey Kane drove back in the day, and they're called quarter midgets. Okay, smaller versions of the cars. That's what they're called. Do I think the word midget is a bad word? No. But if we're describing little people, then yes. So I'm not going to describe a little person as a midget, because I feel like that is something that I've been told it can be offensive to them. So that's it.
Yes.
So there we go. That's where
I don't have any problem with that explanation.
Corey's not on that page.
I don't have a problem with the explanation either. Again, I wouldn't use the word off if somebody asked me and told me it was offensive either. To that person.
To that person.
Yes.
But on airwaves where that person could possibly listen to,
they made that choice to listen to it.
But you've made that choice to also say it
yes.
after you've had the conversation with them. So then it's also on you. You've had the conversation.
With the context of where I'm putting it.
But we weren't
it's a
asking
generalization.
you to say it along with us.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the
well,
idea.
well, that's the thing. It's like, well, if you start saying a freaking other word that is an offensive word, I'm going to have the same reaction. We can't say that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want Full Buddy Cast to be a part of that.
And that makes sense.
Right. So that's all. That's all I was saying.
That would be a different road and choice you're going down now.
Yeah.
To say I don't want this
you got to realize
brand.
when I got this up, it was because it was funny. That was the whole point behind it. It was
right.
a funny
It was
conversation.
it was a funny conversation.
So that's what I was.
And that's where I'm like, hey, cancel culture. Hey, I'm making a joke of it too. I don't want to be canceled. But there is undertones of every joke has a truth to it, and like so I obviously don't want my friend to listen to this so they can hear that.
But I also think with comedy in general, like if you go to like with the comics that get canceled for saying certain things, you've chose to go to that show,
and they chose to say it, and I get that.
Like, and it's comedy. It's not. It's a generalization
But I'm
of society.
Right.
Does this count as getting deep with Corey?
This is definitely getting deep with Corey. So this is kind of deep. This is super deep. So I agree with that, but that doesn't mean that I want to. I'm gonna. I'm in control of this. Is what I'm saying. I put this out on
of it. But like, so if I'm offended by something,
no, I'm in control of this.
He's talking about this.
Oh yes, this
Full
you
Buddy
are.
Cast.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'm not controlling you. I'm just saying, like, if I put this on the airwaves and we said a word, I'll cut that out.
Oh, yeah,
100%. And I've had people say, like, hey, I shouldn't have said this. Can you cut it out? Not bad words, but like, I had one person skip work, come down, record with me, and I didn't know it. And then in the podcast, they eventually, they say, oh yeah, today and then they hit me up later, like, hey, could you cut that out? Because I forgot that I skipped work today, and I don't want my boss to hear it.
Yeah, 100%. You control the medium that you're using. Yeah. That wasn't the point I made about the comedians.
So Jaron was like, hey, that was kind of.
He just thought it was a funny deal, and then, like I said, it got part of in our group chain, and like I said, Corey posted his awesome picture of the dwarf that works for the Titans, Ball Boy.
And does he go by a certain name?
I don't know. I didn't talk to him.
Who?
The dwarf that works for.
He never got close enough to have a conversation.
But does he have like what's his not Facebook? What's his Instagram handle? Like, does he have like that? Because I know some people
he might. If you actually looked him up, he's got to be something. I don't know.
I know some people that are they
jump into it. Like,
yeah,
they
exactly.
Use it. Yeah.
Well, they have, like I said, they actually have, and we've seen it here because they have it at City Hall. They actually have an entire midget wrestling that travel around
City Hall Saloon.
Yeah, saloon. Yeah,
I just want everyone outside of town.
Sorry, my bad.
At the City Hall.
So I mean, we
decide our elections.
Yeah, so there are words being used to represent people that are fine with that. But I get exactly what you're saying.
Thank you. That's it. Corey's not happy.
I never said I wasn't happy.
Corey's so mad. He wants to use the M word so bad right now.
It's not even about using the word. My whole thing is, so like the comedian thing. Mm-hmm. People want to cancel comedians. I'm not that important as a single person to be offended by something a comedian says to have to cancel the shit that they're doing. Right. I get to choose what I'm offended by and what I let get to me. Exactly.
You're in control of that. I get that. But I'm also in control of what I say.
100%.
Right. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, no. I mean, anyone could be offended by anything if they put their mind to it.
Yes.
And anyone could be unoffended by anything if they put their mind to it.
Yes.
It's them that's deciding.
I lean into, and I think he does, and there's a certain group that we hang out with. It's really has a dark sense of humor with stuff, and that's how we find ourselves.
Right. That's fine. And yeah, so I mean, you can have a dark, yeah, but at the same, but it's like you said, you're in control of what's gonna, really upset you in the end.
Know your audience.
Know your audience is and thankfully we don't have a big audience. But what if this blew up? People start listening to it, and then all of a sudden,
Then you'd be
10
on the
years
news.
later?
They'd be like,
Then I'm just sitting-
controversy sells.
yeah, and then I get death threats, people hating on my family, and then,
Why would you get it? You didn't say it on there.
well, now I'm gonna get death threats from people that want to use it.
Oh,
Now, what are you talking about? You won't even use that word.
this is our word. We own it.
We own it. We can say whatever we want. You don't like the English language? Anyway.
I just appreciate that Craig got my football reference from the Wolverines.
I don't get it.
It was a weight class back in the day.
I never played in the Wolverines, which
Yeah,
is
you never
probably
did like football. In
no.
general.
I played Mr. Warren's flag football.
The jelly balls?
Yes. Well, that's how I learned how to. He would give you the jelly ball and say, "This is how you when you run through a line, you want to have your hand on this side of the ball or your arm on this side of the ball, and you just put your head down and rush through." But you can't hold a jelly ball like a regular football. They made it even harder to hold. But
That's extra training.
it's soup. Yeah. And I got trucked. I got hard. So this one guy
That's not surprising.
hit stick me, and we're playing flag football after school, and I'm like in 5th grade, and
Did
I'm
he
running
grab the
through.
flag with it?
Dude, it's a guy that I know now, and I always forget his name, and I got him confused with another person way back in the day. So now I think his name is that person.
Just
But
say both of them.
it's a guy who I thought was Aaron Overland, and it's not Aaron Overland. I don't know.
Who's the other one?
I think his name's Tony, actually.
Is the last name start with an S?
He would have played with me, not with him.
He was a year younger than me, or a year. He was like a year or 2 years younger than me. I don't know. He was like Pat Thomas's grade. Justin
That
Heaters.
had only been a year below.
Year below me.
Yeah.
Tony? Anyway, he hit me so hard. And we still talk about it. Like, he remembers. Because I hopped up ready to fight him. And he hopped up like he did the coolest. I'm like, yeah.
You
You
hop up and
tackled
throw
a
down
guy
your jelly
playing.
football.
I was so mad. I was like, what are you doing playing flag football? If I get injured, my mom's not going to. I had to beg my mom to do this. If I come home with a broken leg from flag football or broken arm,
I love that's what you're so angry about. You're like, I'm never going to be able to do anything again.
Yeah. I wasn't really mad that he hit me. Against the rules. I just didn't want to get like the guy just absolutely crushed me. You're looking him up right now, aren't you?
We used to play flag football
No.
and do that at recess still too with that. And we keep stats, touchdowns, everything we keep on our desk.
Recess football was probably one of the funnest things to play. Oh, no, it's not Tony S. I know who you're talking about. No, absolutely not.
I told you he would have been playing in my
Well, that's
grade.
what I thought. Maybe he trucked you. You know.
Yeah.
He just showed up
maybe
just
he
to
was
do
by
that.
Anthony.
What grade were you in with this? Just a 3rd grader shows up and trucks you.
Just crushed me. Maybe he was, actually. Good point.
Go Kibler Bears.
Good point. I got to shout out Travis Johnson. The reason I got to shout out Travis Johnson. Have you met Travis Johnson before? He's at Cole Street a lot. He actually wore like one of the first Brouhaha shirts there. Didn't really know the guy.
Was he sitting on the wall when we were there, like against the wall, and you went over there and talked to him?
He had like his kid, like
I think I saw somebody
or
else
a
before.
kid. Yeah, in fact, he's a baby face. He's older than what he is. The guy looks young, and I gotta kind of like spruce him up a little bit because he's been a Patreon for a while. He edited his Patreon tier. He went down a little bit last month, and he brought it down one more month. And I realized maybe I'm not talking about the guy enough, so I got to talk about this guy right now. Great first name. My middle name's John. His last name's Johnson. So there you go. That's
son.
If his middle name's Ken or Kenneth or Kenny, we might as well be called Soul Brothers. And then he needs just to up his tier a little bit one more time. I don't tier shame. I'm just joking. But
He's not.
But I need your money.
Maybe if the Patreon board was up here, you get more tiers.
I'm about to have tears. If next month it's gone, I'm gonna have a lot of tears. There was one night where we were hanging out with him and his son, I think it's Tyler or someone, does like car stuff, detailing. I want to say I had drinks. Okay, so anyway, we did talk about doing a sponsorship. Maybe I said something like, "Hey, we can talk about you more," and I just never did that. But
I mean, I'm just proud he didn't cancel. Then he's
he's still hanging out there. I think it was a nice move. It was like a power move.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you didn't notice last month. Now you're noticing that.
Just so you know, I'm here, but that might not be soon. Just pay attention. It's like poking you.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
Never mind. I don't want to root for that.
Me getting poked?
No, everybody poking you.
Please don't. No.
Challenge to everybody.
No, I had someone else drop off too, and I messaged them. Here's the thing: I've had people drop off before, and it's because maybe their card didn't go through, or their payment didn't go through, and they had an old card because it's all automatic payments. Someone else had dropped off, and so I hit him up, and I said, "Hey, like, I appreciate your time. Like, I really do. Like, I understand if people walk away, but I also kind of want to not have an exit interview. But I was like, I kind of wanted to say, like,
what did I do?
Yeah, you kind of have
Is
this
the
feeling.
content not good enough for the money?
Right. Is there were you supporting, and now you listen to something you heard Craig and Corey use some words that they probably shouldn't have.
They said a word, and now the money goes away.
Wait till next month.
Everybody's dropping off. But if you sell that to the right side of Enumclaw, you'll get more.
They'll get more.
Yeah.
Exactly. Enumclaw community change. But I hit them up, and they said, no, we're getting closer to budget season, and that's true. I mean, you start thinking about what do you got to spend on in the next 2 months.
Xmas time.
You got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving, you gotta like start planning for like 3 huge meals, which is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Got a lot going on.
New Year's poppers and
everything goes up. What'd you say?
I said all the New Year's
poppers you gotta buy.
Yeah.
No one's banging those pots and pans anymore.
Car alarms.
So anyway, they said we're saving for a trip, and we got the budgeting, and so I understand. Don't worry about it. That's cool. So
why are you messaging me to ask me
So
this?
listen, if you guys become a Patreon, and just know that you're in. Okay, you got to get jumped out. Okay, so
but only with language.
But only with language. You get jumped out. Just so you know, if you leave me.
I'll find you.
And it won't be just the first month. It'll be the second and third and fourth after you leave.
So join today.
You're gonna be at a restaurant, sit down to an ice mill. All of a sudden, Travis pops up from behind. Hey, what's going on?
Did I do something?
It
was Craig and Corey, wasn't it? I know it was those bastards.
Hey, that offended me. Don't call me that.
Yeah,
wasn't to me.
I ain't no bastard.
I'm not trying to hit you, see. All right. Well, this computer's on the fritz, but we've hit our allotment. Believe it or not. Did you know that? Can you believe it?
Look at that.
We did it.
It was just so much fun.
I'm interested to see how much this actually picked up. So when you guys listen, you might hear where we jump ahead. That's not me editing at all. That's just the computer not picking up.
Cut out an entire talk.
And this one.
Yeah.
And this one when we were talking about
and
it.
Because we just said that he did it.
No, I don't edit anymore for the most part. I just do background noises and then post. Because we're not at the. Here's the other thing though. The flip side.
Background noises.
The flip side. No, the whatever else is going on in the background. The thing that why am I?
I thought he was going to say he realized that his hosts were so professional he didn't have to edit.
No, you guys are actually really good. You guys are really good actually. But. All right, we got to do shout outs or shit outs. And then we're out.
I'll do a shout out / call out.
Wow.
Oh.
I'd like to give a shout out to Nick Tanner and ask him where our entrance music is.
Yeah. Nick.
We're still listening to Trav's garage door opening,
which is pretty sweet. I think what I'll do if they do it, I'll do whatever they send me, which is a little low. I'll make it they're playing the music, and then you hear the garage door open, and it gets louder and louder and louder, and then I tell everyone to shut up, trying to sleep, and then I do the regular one where click click click, sit down in the chair.
Now they're not going to do it because you just ruined it.
Just kidding. I won't do that. And that was a call out shout out.
Yes.
And then, did you see he laughed at when Holly Graff put out there the crotchety or the crochet wizard, and I said actually he's more of a crotchety wizard.
I saw that,
and he laughed at it.
He did laugh at it
right in your friggin' face. What about
Hence
you?
the call out.
Hence the call out. You think it's so funny? Well, guess what?
I'll do a call out too to Mariano Rivera. I need to know if you're alive. I need to hear from you. I need to know if you're okay.
Is he saying anything? I think we've said a few things.
I think he might be on a milk carton. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Or underneath a stack of them.
Like a wanted milk carton or
yeah,
like missing.
Could be either. He's at WSU.
Oh, that explains a lot. I'm going to do the shout outs. Not going to practice push-ups though. Did you see that?
I did also see that.
Holly I got creepy with Holly. Kellen Hall, Holly Graff, Eric Madrid, Adam Kenny Art, Seth Loop, Cassie Spencer, Amanda Keating, Ira Potter, Anon Aber, Shekinah Sarver. By the way, I'm surprised Anon is still a supporter. Thank you, Anon. I don't know you, never met you. Thank you for that.
I think they forgot about it.
We've got Jared Skelly, Homer Robertson, Veronica Lara, Ben Illman, the Travis Johnson from Travis Johnson University, the man, the myth, the legend, Jamie Roberts. Need to get him a book from the Dad How Do I. He was the one signed. It's already signed for him, ready to go. He won it. And my wife, the dashing Jamie Kenny, and then Apollo. I brush over the first few as I get through. So let me just go back real quick. Kellen Hall, thank you for the longest donor of Full Buddy Cast. Holly Graff, the second longest. Eric Madrid, the third longest. My brother. Then Seth Loop came out of nowhere. Appreciate Seth, and now we've had a friendship out of that, which is very cool. Were you the one that brought Seth Loop into the fold? Take credit.
Nope, I'm not gonna take credit for
Take credit. Cassie
go check
Spencer,
out his brother's cooking channel still.
Amanda Keating.
Go see Chef Kai's channel.
Go to Chef Kai's channel. Those are the guys. I'm not going to spend as much, so I'm not going to go through it all again, but I wanted to hit those people. So thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you guys. We will be doing on our next episode, which is it's the Friday before Thanksgiving. So we will be thinking about that. How are we going to do that? It'll be Thanksgiving.
Feast is this?
Yes.
a cornucopia of ideas.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's how I am there.
Dude.
I just pictured it in my head too.
I realized we didn't do the intro.
Yeah, your guys' intro sucked last time.
No, this we didn't do an intro this time.
No, I know, but your intro last time when I wasn't here,
Oh, you didn't like
I
that.
listened to it and it was horrible. Just an FYI.
FYI, a GFY FYI.
I didn't hear my own voice. I was upset.
We got Craig on the mic today,
Nope, not doing it.
and we got Corey, his brother.
Still disappointed.
Also, real quick, we'll leave this in. I just want to know: are we taking Black Friday off? Are people waking up on Black Friday morning, and are they listening to our voices, or are they not hearing our voices?
I don't know.
I don't know what the question entails.
We're gonna
Are we recording for Black Friday?
We're
Are we going to be recording for Black
You'll-
Friday?
How about this? You're gonna have a recording if you want to put it out Black Friday, and if you don't, they can just listen to it the following Friday.
Well, then I was thinking we could do a Black Friday focused. Have any Black Friday stories?
I've went one time my entire life.
Me too. Guess who I went with? Holly Polston. You no?
I was there the one time that Corey went, and
Okay.
it's probably the same story.
All right, we'll talk
You
Black.
didn't go that time.
Hey, you guys, send
Oh,
us
really?
some Black.
Jared was with me.
We'll read some Black Fridays. Hey, listen, if we get enough Black Friday stories, we will record a Black Friday. Wait, this will be released Friday. Well, you know what? You have 7 hours of uninterrupted football. This is going to be released Friday. We're going to record that night. You have to get your Black Friday stories to us, messaged to us November 12th, that Friday, by 4:30 p.m.
You might
Okay.
want to just post that on your page.
You got to message that, and I'll post it as well. And no one will read it. They'll ignore it, and we won't even do one.
You know what you should do? You should go live and ask for it because people like to see your face.
They do. Yeah, that's a little weird thing I've noticed.
Dude, we
You-
talked about this. We're
He
not
gets
gonna
more
lie to
people live.
We're not gonna lie to people.
What?
Lie is an offensive word. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Get us your entries, your entrees. TK enchiladas at Mazalon.
Super burrito.
Super Bentley burrito.
Got it last Friday.
Oh, you're really going for it, aren't you? You guys are really going for it. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend, great week. TTYL.
Goodbye.
See you at the wine walk. Say hi.
Hello.
This computer is going to get rebooted by the next time you and I